So feel free to use this as a tool to discover whether or not this is something you want to continue to dive into more, or if you're like, okay, this was fascinating, but it's not for me, and that's totally okay too, right? That's what this opportunity is here for today. So you guys have a bunch of questions that we gave you kind of at the beginning. If any of you are missing that sheet, we can get you some, but those are just to help engage in some of those questions. Maybe nothing comes to mind immediately, and that's kind of just a resource that you have to be able to stir up some conversation so that we can engage in conversation all together. We'll present at the end this evaluation form QR code so that you guys can all scan it. This was how we'll be able to track that you guys have been here the whole time, but it's also needed for you guys to get credit for today. So please make sure you get that evaluation filled form out, excuse me, so that we can get you that credit that you guys all deserve. And then we got you all checked in, so you should be good to go on that front. Go ahead and go to the next one there, Mama. And then this is kind of a both, because it is a hybrid event, I'm going to be speaking to both the ones here virtually and then all of you guys here in person, but we just ask that you guys are present, right? We want to show our speakers the respect. If you guys are in a position, for those of you on Zoom, that you can have your cameras on, that is preferred, but we also fully understand if you cannot. But we again ask that you're not on your phones while you're here, that you're engaged and you're present and showing the respect that you would also want in return, right? If you were in front of a room of people that are here listening to you, that you want that same respect that you were giving to our speakers today. And then is there one more page there?
No, I believe we are good. We'll just come back to the reminder to submit the evaluation afterwards. So with that, I think let's go. I'm excited to have David and Tracy, or Mitchell and Tracy, talk with us.
Cool. I just want to put this out there. Let's treat this as like a small group discussion. So, just raise your hand if you want to talk. We're really chill. Since it's such a small group, you can ask any questions you want to us. Don't be afraid. There's no dumb questions, like you said. We're here to just chat with you, give us our experiences in the industry, and just like chill. Yeah, chill with us. Yeah, I'm Mitch. I've been a licensed cosmetologist since I was 19. I went to beauty school. I took a year gap, and then I went to beauty school. And I worked at a salon and went to college to become a teacher, like a high school teacher. I moved to Korea in 2016, taught high school there for 3 years. Just moved back last year, and now I'm a cosmetology school instructor. So it kind of went full circle, beauty, and then ended back in beauty. So that's kind of my background.
Which is interesting because mine's been circular in motion as well. I started, back a long time ago. I was working at a restaurant actually, and I was talking to one of my coworkers about the latest and greatest skincare. And we did a lot of talking about that. And she said, Tracy, you seem to really, really enjoy talking about skincare and researching it and all that. She said, there's a way that you can make money doing that. And I was like, really? I had never had a facial prior to starting school. But after that conversation that I had with her, I think it was 3 months later, I was actually in school, and just really, really enjoyed it. Absolutely loved it. It was everything that I thought it would be, and actually more. And so basically, when I finished school, I went right into a very nice high-end spa salon environment. And then what I realized after working about a year there, I was selling a lot of skincare. So it kind of just came to light that I actually was really good at sales. And so I don't know if many of you are familiar with sales and so forth, but you can really kind of make your own path, if you will, in terms of your finances, commission, and that kind of thing. So I went into sales, sold skincare supplies, hair supplies. So I was still within within the industry. And then I kind of hopped around a couple different industries as well. So you could say that I've sold a few things. And then so I I was in sales for years, like I said, and then I kind of wound up back into the industry just recently for admissions. So as you can see, I kind of did a circular thing too. And then the great thing about that is that there are so many opportunities for everyone, regardless of which program you might take. The sky's the limit. You would be amazed at how many positions that there are out there for folks, and you can be very, very successful. You can be successful, you know, cutting hair, doing hair, honestly. I mean, the gals out there, the guys, sorry, are making a lot of money. So it's a good industry to be in if you're financially driven.
So there's 3 categories of cosmetology school. There's nails, aesthetics, and hair design, also barbering, so 4. If I could start on this side, just give me your name, and if you're interested, of course you must be, you're here. Just out of those categories, just let me know which ones you're into.
So my name is Vianney, which would be Vianney in English, and I would like to do the hair.
Hair design?
Yeah.
Cool. Like, are you interested in hair color or hair cutting? Just all of it?
My mom's like also a licensed cosmetologist, and
I saw your hair is braided. Did you do that or?
no, this was my mom.
It's good. It's good. Thank you.
My name's Aline, and I want to go into hair design as well.
Hair design.
Cutting.
Cutting, cool.
My name's Brooklyn, and I want to like go into aesthetics for like skincare.
Nice. Are you into makeup or?
Yeah.
Into
We
makeup?
don't have like a lot of people.
That's okay. It's expensive to make a collection.
Yeah, it is.
I'm Oliver, and I wanted to go into hair design and specialize in color.
Cool.
Nice.
I'm here and I like to do nail.
Yeah. Cool.
So my name is Kathy, and I'd like to go into aesthetics and nail art.
Nice.
My name is Mia, and I would like to go into nail tech and
Nail and hair?
I'm Sarah, and I'm also like aesthetics and skincare.
Cool. I don't think I heard anyone say they all wanted to go all 3. So Oregon is one of the few states that does separate licenses for each category. Unfortunately, if you were going to move to a different state, this is just some info for you. Most other states like California clump it together. So if you want to be a hair designer in California, you need to do all 3. You need to do nails, aesthetics, and hair. So if you come from Oregon with your hair design license only, you have to go back to school to learn nails and aesthetics to be able to do hair. And that's how the majority of the other states are. So if you're thinking about cosmetology school, honestly, the best option is to do it all at once, unless you never plan to move out of Oregon, which I hope everyone, you know, if you love Oregon, that's cool, but this industry can really take you all over the world, and you wouldn't want to be, what's that word? Held back because of you didn't learn nails in beauty school, you know? So, and financially as well, it's so much worth it to do all 3. If you do one, you have the cost in that book, right? Did you bring those?
I have.
It's more cost efficient anyways to do all 3.
Correct.
Yeah. Does anyone currently work in retail or a salon? Like Sephora?
Well, I work in the retail, but it's not like beauty related.
Okay. So, does everyone know the difference between introverted and extroverted? Yeah. Can you raise your hand if you're, and I'll do too, if you're an extrovert? Extrovert. How about introverts?
Wow, lots of them.
Okay. So I'm super introverted. Okay. I'm not shy, but I'm introverted. And if you're afraid of working with people, don't worry. You're for the introverts out there. If you're afraid of people, like having to socialize all day, your skill will outweigh your not your personality, but your social skills. Like I was so stressed when I first started working in a salon as an introvert. I thought that I had to talk while I worked, but now I don't talk, you know, just let your skill do the talking. And the extroverts, this is just perfect for you, so, right?
Absolutely.
And yeah,
Unless you're in a skin therapy room where people want to take a little cat nap
Yeah.
during their facial. So that's the only area that you wouldn't, you know, be concerned about something like that. But basically what I wanted to share a couple things too with you regarding some of the things that had transpired during my school days, if you will, in cosmetology that were just really, really cool. And then when I was working with salon services as well, a couple of different things. One of the things that we did while we were in school, we went to a homeless shelter and made up the women that were there. It was really, really awesome. Makeup, the hair, the whole 9 yards. And it was just such a great feeling to be able to give back to the community. And they appreciated it so much. Another cool thing that I have done, have you all heard of Big and Sexy Hair? Yeah. So when I was with Salon Services and Supplies, we had the fellow that actually owned that company, and he came in and had a conversation with us all very much like this. And I got to tell you, even though obviously the fellow is probably wealthy beyond his dreams, he was a super, super down to earth guy, but he was just cool. You know, some people have this exude this coolness. He was way cool. So I remember that. And then another thing, and this is actually the last thing that I'll talk about in terms of things that were just off the charts, really fun, were the shows, the hair shows that we were able to go to. They were, I mean, it was like you were in Hollywood or New York, very, very fashion forward, really high energy, and they were a blast. So you'll have the opportunity to go to those. And I recommend that you do. It's really, really fun. And it's fun too, because you meet other people in the industry and, you know, you learn a lot. It's basically, that's what it's all about, is learning, but it doesn't really feel like learning because it's just that much fun. Are there any questions at this point? Yeah.
do you guys want to start beauty school right when you graduate? Like immediately? Cool. What's cool about beauty school is most cosmetology schools start every month, like new people. You don't have to wait for a fall semester or a spring semester. So if you want to take a break for like 2 months after you graduate, you know, just to get yourself party, whatever, you know, travel, go on vacation, celebrate, you know, your high school graduation, you can do that. You know, there's no rush because we start classes every month. So it's good for your schedule. And there's our school in particular, Northwest College of Beauty. Are you familiar with that? Yeah, we have day and night classes. So if you work in the day, you come at night, vice versa. Good question?
What's the average length of courses?
The average length, like a class?
Well, like the whole
Program.
Yeah.
I can tell you, I can share that with you, but I actually have a fun little breakdown that I'll pass out at the end. I actually, it's titled, "How long is this going to take anyway?" Question mark, question mark, question mark, question mark.
Yeah, so that'll be a surprise.
Yeah, so anyway, so that's a great question.
Also, what are your guys' like main roles for like, so you guys are cosmetologists, but what do you guys like specialize in? Or, like, what's your main?
Our main thing. So I'm the lead teacher at our school. I have my licenses in barbering, hair design, aesthetic, and nails, but I specialize in hair design and aesthetics, are my two favorite. Like I have my nail license, but you don't want me doing your nails. You know, I can do natural nails. I like natural stuff, but hair design and aesthetics is my forte. And so when you do go to school and, you know, learn, even if you're not interested in nails or not interested in hair, it's still great to have all of it because it just looks great on a resume, and it just by not having one of the three, it just kind of cuts your opportunities, you know, it like puts a wall there. So I always recommend to everyone to do all three, because it just expands your choices.
Yeah.
And life is all about having the most opportunities, you know, it's great.
Well, and back in the day, and I don't know how long back in the day actually means, but most people actually did do full cosmetology. I actually wonder if there was breakdowns of classes back. Because everybody that
I
I
don't
knew,
know.
everybody that I knew went to all of them, so.
Yeah.
Anyway, to answer that other question, I do admissions. So I'll be the one that reaches out to you all here in the not so distant future. I'll have you come in and take a tour. We get to do fun things like this, you know, come and talk to students. We actually go out to the schools as well. It's a fun job because I meet a lot of people that are really anxious to get into the industry, and it's really fun for me to see that. And then also with my background, as far as all the things that I've been able to do, I think there's a good common connection there that I have with young ladies and gentlemen alike, and it just is fun. So I'm not stuck in an office all day per se. I'm out, you know, out on the floor talking to people and meeting them, and so there's a lot of things that you can do in admissions as well. It is a sales related position, but it's not car salesman-y like.
How many of you would say you're an artist or feel like you're an artist?
Nice.
Everyone? Good. How many of you like hate math and science? Does anyone like math and science? Good,
Wow.
good.
Wow.
So, contrary to popular belief, going to cosmetology school does not exclude you from learning science and math. So we don't just teach about hair, nails, and skin. You get to learn the anatomy of a body, how the body parts work, muscles. There's a lot of math, a lot of science, but a lot less than you would do going to Portland Community College, you know, in your math 101 classes. But there is math and science.
More so with hair though.
Yeah, hair and skin. So I have a lot of students that come in, you know, they're surprised that we're learning about, they have to memorize all the bones in the body. And I'm like, no, this is real school. It's not a art school, you know, but it's formulated to fit more artistic people. Okay, if that makes sense. Cool. But don't let that scare you. It's not like hard math, it's not calculus.
Absolutely
you know?
not. If I can do it, all of you can do it,
Yeah.
trust me.
Yeah.
Math is not my forte.
Our day, so like a normal day for a student at the school, let's just say you're a day student. If you're starting like your class, so you get there at 9, we have class from 9 to 4. Each class, we offer 4 classes or 5. We have hair 101, which is hair cutting, hair 102, which is hair coloring, aesthetics, and nails. These classes are all 4 weeks long. So the students you start with will be the ones that you pretty much take every class with. So that's how that works. And yeah, each class is 4 weeks long. It's really fast learning, but you get a lot of hands-on practice. So the first day you'll be cutting hair in my class. That's kind of how it is. So it's just, do you guys like to just jump in something new? Is that how you guys learn? Yeah, cool.
So the books that we passed out, of course, are from our school, but that's not to say, obviously, that they're somewhat generic in terms of some of the information in there, but I wanted you all to have those so that it might strike up a question or two that you might not have thought of previously. And to Mitch's point, day 3, I believe, you will actually do a follow. Is that last all day long?
A follow.
Their follow?
Uh-huh.
No, on day 3.
Oh.
Oh, anyway, that's what I read.
Cool.
Okay,
Yeah.
So-
No, follow like through this long.
like they follow like a mentor.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
That's we do that at the end. I do that at the end of the week. at the end of
First week?
the end of the 4th week is when I'm doing it.
Oh, okay, well,
Yeah, so you'll be put with a senior student to like
Yeah.
mentor and watch their, like an apprenticeship kind of thing. So before you get on the floor, so it's not so scary.
okay, then when do you do, when would they all be able to receive the service?
I'll receive a service
Uh-huh,
as soon as class starts, if you're brave enough.
oh,
If you
yeah,
want your, you know,
okay,
desk mate to cut your hair,
uh-huh,
you know, but yeah,
okay, starting right away then?
yeah,
Wonderful.
we start right away working on each other. Question?
When you guys like notice things about your jobs.
My favorite thing about being a teacher there, I just have a passion for teaching. So I haven't just taught at cosmetology schools, but I taught at a high school in Korea. So my favorite thing is teaching and just getting to know students. My least favorite thing is grumpy clients. So that's it. That's what I would say.
Mhm.
But those are few and far in between. Because it's our job to make people not grumpy. We're people pleasers. Is everyone here a people pleaser? Yeah, sometimes. You guys know what that means, people pleaser?
Yes.
Okay.
Let's see, so, being that I've kind of been so circular with my career, it's hard to pinpoint, favorite stuff, except, and it's kind of funny because it goes all the way back to when I first started, except skincare. I still love everything about skincare. I like to find out what's the best. I like to find out which product will do what for my skin, because it's really important to me now that I'm so much older. So, yeah, so skincare is still very, very much close to my heart. And I'd say maybe, well, getting stiffed was never fun. Y'all know what that means? So you do a service, right? And it's a tipping service. A lot of, most people will tip for a job well done for all services. But some just don't. And it's kind of a bummer because you kind of learn to, it's just another side income, if you will. I mean, you can take your tips and pay bills with it at the end of the month because it can be lucrative just with tips alone. So when you don't get one, that's not fun. And I have kind of a type A personality, so I became the brow person as far as waxing is concerned, because I'm so particular about getting every hair just right. So I became the brow person at the salon that I was at, and it was fine and all. I mean, I was pleasantly surprised, if you will, but to do that all day long that would be. So if I didn't have a facial or two in between all the brow waxing, it could get a little tedious, but I mean, that's not bad. If that and tipping is the two worst things that I can come up with. And again, it's just a great industry to be in. It's very, very creative, very fun. To Mitch's point earlier, they mentioned as far as being extroverted and introverted. Nowadays, what I find anyway, is that some people, people are just exhausted. I don't know if it's, COVID that kind of put like a whole another spin on that, but when they sit in a chair anymore, it's almost like they just want to, relax, basically. So, if you're not a talker, don't worry about it. It won't hold you back. And you'll also make friends. That's another good thing about the industry, not only with your coworkers, of course, but you'll have people that will follow you for years and they will become your friends. And you will be almost looked upon, as a therapist in some situations, because they'll come to you and they'll talk to you about their problems, and you'll try to help them work through those problems. And it's so that's another thing too that's actually really, really cool about the industry itself.
I feel like this industry is one of the few industries that you can fully be yourself. And I think this is the industry that people really get close to each other. Like my best friends still are people that I went to beauty school with, just because there's a type of person that's interested in this industry. it's hard to pinpoint because it's so broad, but this is the only industry where I felt like I can like be myself, be funny, be creative. You know, I could dress in a big yellow suit and go to work and no one would bat an eye, you know, or just there's so much stress that's not there because you're allowed to be yourself. And if that's something you're interested in, then this is really the right place for you. It's so different than any other job. So different.
So I can't speak on a personal level, but I know Mitch can to the, so the jobs and even the one that I did, they can be physical. So you do have to have some physical dexterity, some strength in your arms and your back and so forth, and you can speak more on that.
Yeah, so a big thing when I teach in hair design, aesthetics, nail class is posture, stretching. So if you're gonna do this your whole life, it's important to stay healthy, like treat yourself nice. So that comes to like holding your scissors properly, holding your comb properly, how you stand, like your body stance when you're cutting hair or doing a facial. So important, and we go through all of that so that you can do your career successfully for decades. If you're doing it not correctly, you're not gonna last more than a couple years, really.
Mhm.
Yeah.
That's what I heard.
Yeah.
Especially in the arms and shoulders.
Mhm. Good job. It's a good job for people who don't like sitting down. I hate sitting down.
Right.
Right now I'm like, you know.
Yeah, it's nice. It's nice to be physical in a position. I would say that probably every one of us that is taken this route are people that do not like to sit at a desk all day long. There's a big, huge shift between the two. So if you're someone that likes to stay busy and do different things throughout your day and be social, it's a great career path for you, for all of you.
Yeah, and say you want to work for a company that's in the beauty industry, but you don't exactly want to work at a salon. So if you go to beauty school, this is what I did. So I went to beauty school first, cosmetology school, and then I went to a university. That's a great way to give yourself experience to apply for the jobs. Like say you want to be a business person for Morphe, like, and you have a business degree, they're going to pick the person that has gone to cosmetology school to do that because they know about the company, they know about that industry. So that's kind of the route that I took with beauty school. I just worked at a salon to pay for my college, but now it's like, now I'm in the more business side of the industry, which I love, whole teaching business. Yeah. So is anyone kind of on that boat?
Thinking ahead of not only your cosmetology license, but there and beyond. What do you think might be fun?
I would be like a dermatologist or
Yeah.
just work at a med spa or own my own med spa.
Exactly.
So a cool thing now is there's advanced aesthetics because, technology is just like rapidly increasing. So to get your advanced aesthetics license, you do have to do basic aesthetics first. Advanced aesthetics consists of tattoo removal, laser hair removal, like just crazy stuff.
IPLs, microdermabrasion,
Fat freezing
yeah,
now.
cold sculpting or whatever.
And there's so much money in that. If you're a tech person, anyone a tech person? Yeah, advanced aesthetics is for you then. Like if you like computers, lasers, like sciencey stuff, that's another option.
One of the salon owners that I used to sell product to actually went out and made his own product, basically hair care line. And so in order to do so, of course, he went overseas because that's where it's affordable to do that kind of stuff. So those are some types of things that you just really wouldn't think about that maybe might happen down the road and just some offshoots, if you will, because there's so many. It's as I said earlier, very, you know, business, you own your business, you can manage a business. Because really, when you're doing cosmetology, you, in a way, even if you're employed by someone, you are kind of running your own business. Because everyone's coming to you. You're in charge of making sure that you're on time, you know, with each client and all of that. So it's just a really good experience for not only the industry itself, but also, you know, beyond, as far as, you know, branching out if you were to do so. And I do agree with Mitch, is if you can, if it's possible, even if you have to do it online, I didn't do this, and that's one thing that I do regret. I did not get my college degree. So had I done that, things would have been a little bit different for me. Not that I'm saying that things went badly, because they didn't, but in terms of my ability to really reach for the stars, had I done gotten my college degree, that would have been a force to be reckoned with. So if you can do that online, again, it's not for everyone, so that's okay. Obviously, it wasn't for me at the time, but just keep that in mind. All right, questions?
I have a question. The voice from beyond. So how does your school, do you teach working with different types of hair? So like African-American hair, Asian, curly, straight, like learning all the different types so that you're diverse in knowing how to cut and what products work best with different types of hair?
Oh yeah, so I have a funny story about that. When it comes to diversity with what I've done in the past where I've worked, I did hair in Korea, so I'm experienced with working with, you know, their type of hair, like really coarse, straight. I had a African-American student in my class this year, and he actually taught me. He had gone to beauty school back in the 70s. He's an older gentleman, and I had never known how to cornrow ever. And so he taught me. So the student was teaching the teacher. And so, you know, we just learn through opportunity in this industry. So we learn from each other, learn from your students, and that's how we become more diverse.
Mm-hmm.
So we definitely try to teach every texture, every, you know, all inclusive. So yeah, thanks for that question.
Oh, sorry.
Okay.
There's also continuing education. And I highly encourage you to make sure that you do that, regardless of which program you might choose. Personally, myself, my hair is a nightmare to cut, and I always get the wedge, no matter what. I can go in and sit in a chair, and believe me, I've done it countless times, and tell them, I don't know if it's my head or my hair, but I always walk out with that shelf. And even though I tell them that, I still walk out with the shelf. So anyway, where was I going with that?
I don't know, but I like that story.
It's a nightmare. Continuing ed. That's where I was going. So continuing education is something, because my hair is such a nightmare, is something that I actually will Google when I find a salon, and then I find a stylist. I will research that stylist and find out just where they have been, what they've done, and I'll try my best to go to somebody that's very advanced. Again, I have no idea. It's almost like that now. So anyway, continuing education, and actually it's really fun too. You do learn a lot of different things. And then it also is a good training ground. That continuing education is a great training ground for, again, different possibilities within the industry. For example, you could go and be a color specialist and go and train salons to do color for a brand, if you will. So, and those are great jobs to have too, because you get to travel. They pay for your traveling, of course. And again, you get to meet a lot of fun people and have a good time. They put you up in a nice hotel. You get to go out for dinner. They give you a per diem. So it's pretty fabulous to be able to reach that level, to be, you know, a specialized instructor, especially if you like to travel. It's really fun. It's exciting.
Does anyone in here want to be a teacher? Anyone interested in teaching? No? Maybe?
How many of you are, okay, so you're working in retail. How many have jobs right now other than, oh, that's awesome. Okay, so most of you. Great, so you're learning your basic skills that you're gonna have to take with you everywhere. And that includes the cosmetology field. You have to be on time, you have to be trustworthy, you have to be a hard worker. These are all things that are life skills that will take you into, well, the sky's the limit, really. I mean, if you have your basic skills as a person, you can really go far. Also, getting along with others is extremely important too. Oftentimes in a salon environment, there'll be lots of gals that are working, and sometimes it can be a little catty.
I like the drama. I'm just gonna be honest.
So yeah, getting along with folks is a big thing in the industry. So yeah, it's just that for pretty much everything in any industry that you would think of, you know, when you go to work, that an employer is looking for: integrity, hard work, honesty, flexibility, be on time, all of those things that you would still, you know, want to take with you, regardless of where you might wind up.
So I teach math on the weekends to elementary school students. And when I'm there, everyone is all the other teachers are so normal. You know, it's a totally different environment. Like all the parents are normal. And I'm like, this is so boring. Everyone is so nice and normal. And then I go back to the beauty school. I'm like, yes, this is where I just like knowing, you know, you don't know what to expect every day. It's nice because you have nothing to wake up to, and like, you know, you don't dread. There's nothing to dread because you have no idea what's going to happen that day. So it's nice. So this is a good job for people who kind of like live on the edge. Like if you like, you know, there's some expectations of how your day is going to be, but most of the time there's not, you know. And if you like that, I'm an anxious person, and at first it used to cause me anxiety, but now I'm like, well, I don't know what's going to happen, so there's nothing to be anxious about, you know. So it works for me. If you think you're a little different than than the basic person, then this industry is going to be right for you. It really is. Does anyone are you curious about how much money people make in the industry? Do you guys have an idea of how much money people make? No. So it's pretty much, if you're a hard worker and a go-getter, your money is going to be up here. If you're lazy, your money's going to, it's totally based on that. Totally based on how much effort you put in. Really.
I
Yeah.
would agree. I mean, yeah, because there's stylists out there that make six figures all day long,
Yeah.
right? And a close friend of mine actually is in advanced aesthetics, and she makes $70,000 a year, which probably would equate to, maybe by the time you guys all were able to get there, probably $78,000 a year, I'm gonna say. You might be able to do. I know several of you mentioned advanced aesthetics, so yeah, that's an industry that's really fun and growing by leaps and bounds because of all the baby boomers. That advanced aesthetics, is very, very much in line with what people are looking for these days.
Now you don't have to say our school, but is there a beauty school in the Portland metropolitan area that you're interested in? Anyone? Have you heard about any of the schools?
How
No?
many schools are there?
Northwest College has 4 in the Portland area. We have 1 in Hillsborough, Beaverton, Tannisbourne, and Clackamas. Yeah. And then the other beauty schools I know in the the Portland area are like Aveda. Has anyone heard of Aveda? Yeah, you have. There used to be a Paul Mitchell school. I went to the Paul Mitchell school in Boise, Idaho. I think that's it. There's a couple independent ones called like Fagan's, but there's a lot of different options. Our school specifically takes financial aid, so you don't have to pay out of your pocket. That's a huge decision when you're choosing schools, is how much money is this going to cost you.
And we help you with that.
Mm-hmm.
There's also, I mean, that's FAFSA, so that's from the government. That's something that will be paid back. We help you with your application if you need it. We have finance people on the premises to help out with that. One thing too, I'm glad we brought this up because I almost forgot. If you're really, really serious about looking into this, please go and look for grants. There's all kinds of grants that can be had for whatever reason, and I don't know why. There are a lot for people that want to do beauty school. And grants you don't have to pay back.
Mm-hmm.
So there's all kinds of different ways that you can actually get your school paid for. And then we also offer payment plans too, of course, or the FAFSA would. So you wouldn't have to necessarily pay it all up front. Do a monthly payment plan.
Yeah, so majority of the time, you don't have to worry about making payments to cosmetology school till you're already in the career field. So like, I think it's a year after you graduate, and then you'll start making payments.
What's like the average cost for cosmetology school?
Average cost, you're gonna look towards, for like a full program, I'm not taking our price, but I'm just thinking average, about 20,000 for the full program. So,
Have any of you made up your minds already that you want to go in this direction?
yeah. Like you're
So-
100% going to beauty school. Yeah. You
So
too?
3, we got 3, 4,
No.
4 of you.
Raise your hand high. Let them see. There you go.
There we go. 4 of you. All right.
What other field, like the people that didn't raise your hand, what are your other choices?
I would go to orthodontics.
Orthodontics,
Oh, wow.
that's cool.
Yeah, you have lovely teeth.
Anyone else?
So like indecisive or just
Indecisive. Cool.
I mean, I'd like to go to beauty school, but I had beauty consulting.
Film, nice.
Wow, very cool.
Natural medicine.
Medicine?
That's natural medicine.
Good.
Yeah.
Nice. Okay, fits together still.
Mhm.
Yeah, it's all about like orthodontists. It's about making people look better, right? Feel better. So I believe everyone in here is like, likes to make people feel good, right? Film, that's to make people, feel enjoyment, entertainment.
Forget life for 2
Yeah.
hours.
Yeah. Cool. So what I'm seeing, I feel like everyone here, if you decide to go down this path, I think it would be good. There's never a wrong decision, Don't worry about what ifs, or I should have done that, or it all falls into place at the end. So don't worry. You're all young. 17, 16. Cool. There's
Yeah.
no wrong decisions
Well, yeah, exactly.
when it comes to education.
And I've never regretted for a second going to school. I'm sure Mitch can relate to that.
The
so.
fact that you're here today learning about this is so amazing. And
Good job.
Yeah.
ladies.
So cool.
So I don't know if you saw the little goodie bags back there, but I was a little jealous when I saw them.
I'm jealous too. I think there's gonna be a few extras. So maybe you can.
I have a question.
Yeah.
So with cosmetology, and I don't know if I missed it. There's a little bit of an echoing. So you might have said it and I didn't get it clearly. But
Oh, no problem.
can you walk through like what the cosmetology section of your program is like from the start to finish? Like what does it all entail? So I'm a student who is just interested in it, but I don't really know what that training looks like. Can you go a little
And
deeper
when you
for
say
me?
cosmetology, you mean like all 3 programs? Or do you mean
Yeah.
like the hair design? Like the whole, if you were to do all the
Well, like-
programs at once?
Yes, all
Okay.
the programs.
Yeah, so your first couple months of school will be just doing freshman classes, like at ours specifically. And freshman classes where you just learn the basics. You learn how to hold things, you know, you're just really the basics. And you'll get a textbook, and it'll be just like a classroom with your homeroom teacher. There'll be tests, there will be written tests and also practical exams. Practical exams are like doing a haircut on a model, and you have to pass those to get out of freshman class to be put on the floor to work on real clients. During this whole process, you're getting mark-offs for different various things you need to accomplish. So like you need 200 haircuts, 50 highlights. So you have a long list of numbers that you need to get marked off and accomplish in your duration of time. Also in this process, we offer organ law classes. So not only do you need to know how the physical skills of the job, but you need to know organ law, like cleanliness, sanitizing, like fees of, breaking there, like every salon has rules, like you have to have hot water, like basic things like that. So you'll learn all of that too. And also when you become a senior at school, you'll go through a salon business development class, and that will teach you important things like how to do your taxes, as a stylist, something they don't teach you in high school, but they'll teach you about, what is that stuff, algebra, but won't teach you about taxes. So we teach you how to do your taxes. Like if you became an independent contractor and wanted your own salon, you don't want to not know how to do your taxes, We teach you how to, interior, just like a little bit of interior design, which colors look best in a salon, like setups in salons, like you get to design your own salon. We'll have a project like that. So not only is it the physical skills of cutting, but you learn business skills too, and law. You'll be like a little lawyer at the end. Yeah.
At what point do you start practicing on, you move from working on the model to real human hair, a real life person with their hair?
So say you start in Hair 101, which is hair cutting. So you'll be cutting hair on the mannequin for about 2 weeks before you'll bring a model in. And a model is someone so someone you're going to be comfortable around. And then 2 weeks after that, you'll be saying that there's not a color class right after that, you'll be on the floor taking clients. So it's about a month. Yeah. I know that sounds really short, but you're in there 7 hours a day, and it depends on your teacher. I'm very don't sit down, don't stop, kind of like, I was a teacher in Korea. I'm very Eastern style. Like I have that ruler,
Do they tip in the school? The clients?
The clients do tip. However, it's not something that you should rely on or expect, because people are going to a beauty school to get their services done, partially because they, it's all they can afford. So, a big thing about going to beauty school is hopefully you have a sense of empathy now, but you'll really learn to empathize with people and people's situations that they're in. Like, yeah, you're spending 5 hours to make this person's hair look beautiful. You're not making any money. You're just getting the practice, and they don't tip you, but you just made someone's whole day. And, you really have to focus on how that's the tip, not the $2 they could afford if they could.
Good point.
Yeah. So we're really helping people in this industry, and it feels good. Feels good to feel good. So.
How do you guys decide what products to use?
So our school has a contract with different, we use Joico products. So because we have a contract with Joico, we're not allowed to use any other products. So it's kind of like by force.
Okay.
Yeah, but when you get out into your own salon, you can use whatever you like. So if you come to our school and you don't like Joico, it's kind of like, wow, that's what we got, you know?
These are a good brand.
Yeah, it's a good brand. It's a professional brand. Nails, we use Morgan Taylor, I believe. And aesthetics, like skincare, we use BioElements, which is really great. Yeah. And what's cool is you do not have to have a license to shop at, have you guys heard of Cosmoprof or Salon Centric? So these are beauty supply stores that only allow professionals to buy from, like really cheap prices. So even like, honestly, my aunt went to beauty school just so that she could go to these stores. Really, that's what she did. It like pays for itself over time.
Yeah.
Like if you just get your license to be able to buy fancy, professional products, everyone will love you at Christmas, you'll be the favorite. You'll always have the best gift. And it's the easiest. It's so easy to shop for people. Just get them shampoo that, yeah.
Oh, I was just gonna say, I can't speak to other schools, but with us, you get a badge and you're able to use that badge to
Yeah.
go into the stores and shop. Even when you're just.
Yeah, as a student, you're able to shop at those stores day one. Yeah. Cool, huh? Even, and this is a little secret, but if you're just, let's say you're just a student for nails, you can get away with buying hair color. They don't check. They're supposed to, but they don't. So you don't have to be a full cosmetologist to get all the benefits. Yeah.
How much does it cost to get licensed?
So like after school to like go to,
With the state license?
yeah.
It's a couple $100, isn't it?
It was, so I transferred my licenses to Oregon from California. And so when you do that, it's way more expensive. But each license, so the test is $125 to take the written test. Does anyone have a driver's license? Has anyone ever took like a permit test at the DMV? With the computer and the touchpad? It's very much exactly like that. So it's just this little computer, 100 questions, and you answered the test like that. But it's $100, and if you pass, or $125, and if you pass, then there's like another $100 fee to get the actual certificate. So each certificate is about $200. So if you're gonna do like all three, it's quite a bit of money, but right now specifically, I didn't talk about this, but where is it? Like the pool of stylists right now, there's not enough stylists and estheticians to fit all the salons that, so it is not it's not oversaturated. So a lot of people think it is, but it's really not.
Well, COVID, I'm sure. That's that too.
Yeah.
Anything else.
It's really not oversaturated. And where was I going right before that? Yeah. Where was I talking about right before
Cost
that?
of the certificate.
Oh yeah, thank you. A lot of the salons right now are paying for you to go take the test as like a sign-on bonus. So I know that's a lot of struggle for my students who graduate school and are like, I don't have the $600 to go get the licenses. Mostly every salon out there right now is paying for you to go take the test. Yeah, and I think based on my experience, I think they'll continue to do so because it's just the norm now. Yeah.
One of the gals has a job already, and is it like the streets of Tannisbourne, that area over there in Tannisbourne?
Oh,
like
sit still
very
salon.
high-end,
Mhm. Yep.
Yeah, she's 2 or 3 weeks out, I believe.
And I got her that job, so
Oh.
Yeah.
So I just thought.
I'm really good at schmoozing people. So if you need a job after school, after you graduate, I got you. You'll get a job.
Yeah, so that was cool.
How long is
Anything
your
else?
license good for? Like, do you have to renew it every couple of years? And what
So
does that
we
look
renew
like
them every
if you
2
do?
years. We renew them every 2 years. And each license, I know in California, it's just one license, and that is $50 every 2 years. Here, I think it's a little bit more expensive in Oregon. I think it's like $30 every 2 years for each license. So if you have 3 licenses, that's going to be like, around $100 every 2 years. It's not expensive, it's really not.
Do you have to take that same
But
test
everything.
over again, or is it
Nope.
a more abbreviated test?
Nope, there's no more tests.
Oh,
You
you
just
just
pay
have
the
to
fee.
pay.
Yep, if you let your license lapse for over 5 years, then you do have to go retake what is called a practical test. And you have to, right now, the price is like $300 at our school. If you let it lapse after 5 years, then you have to take the hands-on test again at a school.
If you get your license in Portland, would you have to, and like you move somewhere else, would you have to retake the test or like
In the state?
in the state perhaps?
So you wouldn't have to, if you, the certificate, your cosmetology certificate in Oregon is good anywhere in Oregon. If you were to move out of state, you would have to go to that state's license of cosmetology and barbering and see what you have to do to transfer, because each state is different. But if you have your Oregon license, you can't move to California and immediately start working. You'd have to go through the state to transfer. But anywhere in Oregon,
Also, with us anyway, since we have so many locations, if you were to start a program at one of our schools and you had to move to a different area, chances are likely that we have a location for you to go at that particular area that you might choose to move to. And so it's just a matter of like a 2-week little break that you would get, and we would give you a leave of absence so you wouldn't lose your hours to get all the information transferred to the new location. So that's huge. That's not available in very many places at all. So.
and you do have to be 18 to be in cosmetology school. So some of you are early graduated, young graduators, like graduate when you're 17. You do have to wait till you're 18.
Knowing what you both know now, is there anything you would do differently early on in your careers?
I would have not been so scared at first, because I had this idea of, like I told you guys, I was an introvert. So I had this kind of like mold of what I thought a hairstylist should be like, but there's really no mold. You can be whatever you want to be. Your personality will fit wherever you go. You don't need to change yourself for anyone. So don't do that. Whoever you are now, be that person. Don't change. I know that sounds cheesy, but it's true. Don't change for anybody.
I myself actually got lucky. I wouldn't change the thing, how my story began with a career, and I got extremely lucky after school. I went to I don't know if you're familiar with Lake Oswego, but I went to a high-end spa salon in Lake Oswego that was just absolutely gorgeous. And, and like I said, they had some great products, and I got to know the products. I started selling the products, and I went from there in terms of growing my income. And then again, you can circle back to it. So, and there's so many different possibilities. So, I don't think so.
And here's some little inside scoop. I have a friend who works at Sephora, and soon these companies like Sephora and Ulta are going to require an aesthetics license to work for them. So the wages are going up. Yeah, some inside info. But they're starting to only hire either people with their aesthetics license, and then the current employees that they really like, they're actually paying them to get their aesthetics license. So I believe, based on trends, that if you're interested in anything in the beauty industry, that these companies are going to start requiring their licenses, because so many more people are getting interested in, they need to filter people out. So yeah.
Can I ask about the night school? You said like during the day, it's like 7 hours, like
Yeah.
all day. So at night, is it like half, or is it like 2 hours, or, and then how, does it take longer?
Yeah, so the contract is a little different from day program to night program. Days, they do 35 hours a week. And so it's about a year and a half. And then if you're a night student, it is 25 hours a week. So from 5 to 10. And that's Monday through Friday. And I think that it's only like 2 or 3 months to the contract. So it's not too much longer. But days and nights is a total different crowd too, when it comes to students and clients.
Doesn't it run 5 to 9, right? 5 to 9?
5 to 10.
Oh, 5 to.
Yep. But I started my first year at this school, I was the night teacher. So much fun. And then I moved to days and it's so much to, you know, I'm a night person, so I'll be moving back to nights and I'm really excited.
Oh, you are?
Yeah. I know, she's day person, night person, but I'm like a vampire, so.
Well, to your point, as promised, here's the breakdown of just how long each license would take, both day and night lessons. And then as I encouraged everyone to look into your grants and so forth, here's some information that you can take with you. Don't forget, this doesn't only apply, obviously, to cosmetology, but any other schooling that you might want to do. I highly encourage you to start early. I think what happens with opportunities such as this, because there's a breakdown of how much money is out there, right? And I think sometimes people get it in their head, well, it's not, I'm not going to get it. You know, there's only, you know, a handful of recipients across the country, say, or what have you, like 100. I won't be one of those 100. Don't think that way. I might have thought that way just because I had some negativity in my life, but don't think that way. Try, and it doesn't take much at all to apply for these things. So go for it.
There's a lot of rich people out there that want to give you money.
Exactly.
There is.
How much do you help with job placement after a student finishes your program?
So that is more admissions. You know more about job placement, right? Keeping track.
We do, yeah, we do keep track. The alumni and stuff, we absolutely, yeah, there's, in fact, I think it's even like a law that we have to keep track of.
I do what I can. I love resume building. It's one of my favorite things. So as a teacher, I can only do so much, you know, getting someone a job. I can't like go to the job interview with them, but I can really teach you how to write a resume because that's one of my favorite things to do. Resume building. I get a lot of salon owners that come in looking for students. And while they are not allowed to ask me like who's good and who's bad, you know, it happens. And so, you know, kind of who you know, who, if you're a good student, behind the scenes, I'm gonna tell salons like, yeah, hire that person, you know. So being a good student is really important too. It's like making friends, making connections. That's how you get jobs. So if people like you, you're a friendly person and good at what you do and a hard worker, you'll have no problem getting a job. Like exactly the job you want. So, yeah. You guys have resumes? Has anyone ever wrote a resume? Yeah. Are you anyone afraid to write their first resume? A little bit.
Okay, so how about this? Who's on social media? Right? So there's your resume right there.
Yeah, that's a good one.
A lot of people will utilize that. And also, don't be afraid to sell yourself. Don't be afraid to do some networking. Go out, if you see some salons or hear some salons or see them on your social network, Facebook, what have you, and you think, oh, you know, that might be a fun place to go to work. Go and introduce yourself to the owner or the manager. You know, it just, the more people you can chat with and and get out, get out there and get your name out there and so forth. Yeah, it was not hard for me to find a job at all. I think I just honestly answered an ad, if I remember correctly, but that was, again, a long time ago. But in this day and age, I think with everybody being online, I don't, and as Mitch said, I think the industry is needing a lot of folks too. So that would be a huge benefit for all of you to be able to find work when you get done with school.
And I help all my students make business cards. If they don't have because you want a personal social media and also a business. I help my students, tell them what's appropriate to put on their business. Instagram. I am too old for TikTok, so I'm sure that I'm missing out on that. But TikTok's a great way to, make TikToks of all your stuff. One thing goes viral, you've made it. There you go.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Any other questions? Did you
So
get a lot of
how do salons, oh, I'm sorry. How do salons work with, you get hired, do you pay your chair space to the owner, or are you an employee of the salon and then they pay you and you make the tips on top of that? Like, kind of what is it, what's that look like when you get working at a salon?
It's both. It depends. It's both. It depends on the owner of the salon itself. Some are, you would go in and rent the space, and then others are hourly, right?
Yeah. So I've done all of them. When I first did beauty school, I was like, I'm not going to work at Supercuts. I'm not, I thought I was going to be do movie star hair, but I rented a booth. So how that works is you have your own spot at a salon. You don't have to follow anybody's rules. You just pay the salon owner a lump sum of money, like rent, like it's your own apartment. So that little area is mine. I can do whatever I want with it. And then there's another setup where it's commission. So you would get your own little spot. Same thing. But instead of paying a monthly rent, like just a $500, you would be something like 60%, 40%. So whatever you make off your services, you have to give the owner 40%. So if you're a really, really busy stylist, you're going to lose money doing commission. You're going to want to rent a booth. But if you're a stylist starting out, commission is going to be better for you, because then you don't have to stress about how am I going to make that rent every month. You'll just have to give 40% of your income to, say 40% is like only 200. You're saving lots of money that way. And then hourly is not bad too, because hourly salons like Supercuts, like Great Clips, I used to work for Supercuts. We get tons of tips just in your pocket every day.
Yeah, because you're actually doing a lot of people's hair at places like that. You're turning and burning.
So there's really nothing. There's pros and cons to each, but none of them is the bad choice. None of them is the wrong choice.
Great questions.
Yeah.
It's so weird. I don't know where she is.
Oh,
I know.
shit.
Sorry. Oh, well, I turned my camera off. Sorry. Now I'm back on. Hello. So say I have my license here in Oregon and I build my clientele and I just happen to get lucky and there's a local person who travels around the world and is, can I travel with them? Like, does my licensing, can I only work in Oregon, or am I allowed to go with, and if they're say in New York for a couple months out of the year, do I have to have licenses in different states?
So
temporary.
yeah, there's temporary licenses to travel. They're called like demonstration permits. So you would need to go to your state, like the state of Oregon, the health law offices, and get a demonstration permit to be able to work in other states, like temporarily. Or there's a way to get a national cosmetology license, I think you have to have a license in like 3 states, and then you can apply to get your license, just a national license, which is what I want to work towards, because I have California and Oregon. I just want to go drive up to Washington one day
There you go.
and get mine. But there is a way, I'm not sure exactly the specifics about it, but there is a national license where you could do hair. Yeah.
What if I want to go work on a cruise ship? You know, 'cause
That
they
is,
have
I've
they
looked
have
into
some
that. That is
pretty
a
nice.
fairly different. That's a different thing, I think.
You could apply with the cruise line, I would imagine.
Yeah.
And I'm sure they probably would have to be still licensed.
Yeah, but there's like different requirements for cruise ships specifically. But yeah, thanks for bringing up cruise ships. I almost did that. Yeah, I forgot about it.
That would be a blast.
Yeah,
Oh my gosh, cruise lines have some really nice salons and spas now. And I actually
do.
got one of my best facials that I ever had was on a cruise ship, and got to have that experience that I just wouldn't have tried before. And then actually had a haircut on a cruise ship also, which I didn't expect to have like that same quality as like if I had my person at home, you know.
the thing that turned me off about working on a cruise ship was you're not allowed to fraternize with the guests. So even if it's your day off, you're not allowed to go. Yeah, you can't hang out with guests that you met that you liked. And I was like, well, that's all the fun out of it. But it is a great experience to be on a cruise ship, you know, and go to different countries and stuff.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And like I went to Korea. I did hair there at a salon. Not like legally, and say that, but because I didn't know what, you know, I didn't know what to do there, but it was still fun.
How did that opportunity come available?
Through friends, they found out I was teaching English there in Korea to high school students. And then I had a friend who found out I did hair, and they're like, hey, do you want to work at my shop? And I was like, yeah, sure, on the weekends. So it was just under the, I mean, yeah. It was under the table in a foreign country.
I like it.
But it was fun. It's an opportunity.
What was your question?
If you were to move out of the country, like let's say Canada, would you have to retake the licensing test?
Every country has their own, like, I'm sure there's a way that you could transfer it to like Canada, but it would have to be like research, you know, the steps that it would take to do.
It is regulated. It's a regulated industry. So I would imagine that they have similar certifications that you need to get there and that kind of thing. I remember wanting to, or looking into transferring my license, and it maybe that would be the thing that I dislike the most. It was not an easy thing to do.
It's not easy.
So that probably would definitely be the thing that I didn't care for. It can be done, don't get me wrong. I mean, he's got 2 licenses, but especially in another country, I don't know. You could always do what Mitch did.
No, I'm not telling you to break
I didn't say that.
international law.
Did you have a question, Susan?
I was gonna ask, how did you navigate your career without learning the
So I moved to Korea because I was tutoring English my senior year of college. And I met this group of Korean people that were foreign exchange students and became their friend. And so I had it easy. Before I moved to Korea, I'd already had a bunch of Korean friends. So I just used them to, you know, order food for me, do everything. I was spoiled. I didn't have to put in any effort at all to learn Korean. I know that sounds so bad, but it's true.
It worked for you?
Yeah.
Mhm.
I was pampered there by my friends. But it also, you know, I didn't get to learn Korean because I just had all these Korean friends to translate for me. So that was, you know, that's not as good as learning a new language.
Anyone else?
With how many beauty products there are out there and the regulations on the industry itself, what are kind of things that you look for in products or recommendations to people versus things that you're like, okay, you probably want to stay away from?
To me, it's all,
In both in hair and in like skincare.
to me, these days, it's all about aesthetic, like what something looks like and what celebrities stand, that's at least in my perspective. Like I look things, when I buy something, I want something that's like natural ingredients, no animal testing, and cute packaging, you know? I feel like things are getting more like what looks cute and what's good for the environment and animals. That's what I think.
What's that term that's used when stuff like Paul Mitchell, for example, gets out and gets on the shelves in the grocery stores? There's a term for that. Do you remember what that?
Disbursement,
No,
division. Yeah.
kind of like an under the table kind of thing. Those are the ones that I would say try to stay away from. Gosh, I wish I remember the
Like
term. There's a
replicas
term for
of
it.
these?
Pardon me?
Like replicas of the products?
Well, and that's the thing. They're supposed to be the real deal.
Okay, but they're not.
And I think I've heard in instances they are not. It's gonna bug me. How am I here?
When I buy products, especially for skincare, I always go to Sephora or Ulta, mostly Sephora. Like I don't buy things off like Amazon, or I just always go to Sephora because I know it's the real thing.
Sorry. What is your like favorite face wash or like serum for acne? Like,
For acne?
Because
You know, I had acne during the time where like they were putting 40% benzoyl peroxide in everything. You know, this was like in 2005. And nowadays, everything is so much better. I don't struggle with acne anymore, so I don't know much about acne products. I have sensitive skin, so I really like It Cosmetics. It's like for old people, you know, for people with wrinkles. But for acne,
I got a couple things that you can try.
you do, you got some stuff? Yeah.
So Dermalogica. And the product is called Special Cleansing Gel. They have a toner that's fabulous. It's called Multi-Active Toner. I highly recommend that.
what's the cleansing gel?
Special Cleansing Gel. And then if you're into natural items, natural ingredients, there's a company called Dr. Hauschka. They're out of Switzerland. Those products can be found at like Whole Foods and New Seasons. And so it's Dr. Hauschka. And they have a cleansing cream that works really well.
What was that first one you said?
Dermalogica.
And that's at Ulta. Yeah. So if you want Dermalogica, go to Ulta.
What was the toner called?
Multi-Active Toner.
Another question from the voice from beyond.
Okay.
So does your school, do you offer advanced aesthetics classes, or does that require going somewhere else?
No, so we actually have, every one of our campus offers aesthetics class, but then our Tualatin campus is our advanced aesthetics, where our advanced aesthetic classes are held. So you do have to go to the Tualatin campus for advanced aesthetics.
It's a neat program. I mean, you wear scrubs and the whole nine yards, very, very top-notch professional. And it's just like what you would, get when you were to graduate and go into that industry.
And we're I think there's only one other school in this whole area that offers advanced aesthetics.
How long is that program?
I think it's about 950 hours.
It is 6 months. That's full-time, daytime though.
Yeah, there's no night classes right now.
And then in the basic program and learning to work with like different skin types, is there also like training for people who have scars, you know, facial scars and burns?
So we, in basic aesthetics, we teach a variety of different facials. So we do chemical peels, which is really fun, and that gets, you know, over time that gets rid of scars. Not quite as fast as laser therapy would do, but we do chemical peels, which is in basic aesthetics. And microdermabrasions, which are cool. It like blasts sand at your skin and then sucks up, you know, sucks up all the dead skin. And over time that evens out the surface level of the skin too. So while what we teach in basic aesthetics does get rid of, you know, scarring and stuff, advanced aesthetics is like all high tech, you know. Basic aesthetics is all like hand, you know, just what we can do with our hands and creams. Advanced aesthetics is like, you know, like NASA stuff, you know, like really cool stuff.
Yeah.
So most, I would say about 90% or more of my aesthetic students are doing that because they want to go into advanced aesthetics. So very few people stop at just aesthetics, which I recommend totally, because advanced aesthetics is really, really the biggest money maker if that's what's the most important thing to you, which is totally cool. Money's great. Go into advanced aesthetics. Move to Las Vegas, do it, have, you know, start your own tattoo removal company, be rich. You can have a house in LA and you know, and Las Vegas. With your own helicopter, you know, just fly to work.
That's an instance too, where you would work with someone for a long time. It takes a long time to remove a tattoo. You have to wait 2 months in between treatments, laser treatments, and it can take upwards to 2 years.
Yeah.
So
Wow.
you really kind of get to know someone on a fairly personal level, especially depending on where their tattoo might be. And it's a huge industry, by the way, too. It's shocking how many people are, I mean, it's just.
Yeah, plus like if you're more into like Botox and what is it, fillers, you know, like injectable things. Yeah. Having your aesthetics license is such a good foundation to branch off into that. That's eventually where I want to get into, is I want to like do Botox. Sounds so fun.
What if somebody wanted to get into, you know, personal styling? Like they just have one client.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
They traveled with that person, like
That
you see that in
is-
the media a lot right now.
Yeah, that's true.
So
Like
how do you go that
networking,
route?
moving to LA and just like selling, you know, really beating out the competition.
Yeah, you'd probably have to make a good name for yourself in an area such as Los Angeles, and I have a feeling that's very based on referrals.
Do you guys want me to hand out the bags?
You guys ready for some goodies?
I can give you some product knowledge, so
They're
know how to use it.
awesome.
Here we go.
yeah.
Can I give you a hand with it?
Hey,
Yeah.
Mitch, can you do me a favor?
Yeah.
And put one of these in each bag as well, please?
Yeah.
Thank you.
I don't want to give you a bunch of stuff that you have no idea what to do with.
It is for like waiting.
They should all have the same stuff, right?
I hope so.
Cool. How do we give our online people these?
I will get them over to those students.
Okay, good. I don't want them to miss out.
I paid $60.
And save one, I want one for myself.
We got some.
Do you ever offer drop-in classes for people who want to, like myself? I love makeup, but I am horrible at knowing how to apply my own makeup. And can somebody come in and just take a class, individual classes?
Unfortunately not. Like if you just wanted to take a makeup class, no. You have to sign up for the whole shebang.
I would encourage you to go to one of the one of the stores, either Sephora or Macy's, Macy's, Nordstrom, what have you, Lancome, that kind of thing. They'll teach you.
And do you learn all the different types of like makeup styles for like wedding or movie, print, TV?
Yes, not necessarily TV, but we definitely did special occasions, special effects. That was one thing that I was doing quite a bit of, was wedding parties when I worked at that high-end salons in Las Vegas. It's really fun.
So it looks
Is
like
that-
you could,
Sorry, is that one of the classes you guys offer is makeup?
No, it's with the aesthetics.
yeah, makeup is included in aesthetics. You'll find in the 2 boxes, those are just a variety of nail polish. I think everyone has the same stuff, right? So I'll separate this. These 2, this little pink one and this little white one. This is for blow drying your hair. So does anyone have a round brush, like a big round brush? Cool. So these 2, after you shampoo and condition your hair, you're gonna put these in your hair damp and then start.
Both of them at the same time? Or
No,
one or
either
the
one
other?
does the same thing. So choose this one or this one, not the same, but this is gonna make your hair nice and like, like the Victoria's Secret hair. So that's, yeah, voluptuous. That's what these 2 little ones are for. These 2, this is Sebastian. This is a great hairspray. It's a medium hairspray, so I recommend giving these to your friends. These 2 little ones, and keep the big ones for yourselves. You're not gonna get a crunchy. Does anyone use hairspray here? Yeah, this will be a good one. You're not gonna get a really high hold, but this will keep. This is a great one to use after this. So after your hair is dry, this is a great one to use. Same with this, the big one. This is a great hairspray forever. Keep this for yourself, everybody. This works on everyone. This should last you like 2 years.
And
Okay.
this is like, in comparison to the hold of this one, what would you say?
This one is probably less.
Less?
Yeah.
Okay.
So this is good for everyone. For like a tousle beachy look, this is a great one. Okay. This is not a good one for like an updo. Just this is a good everyday one. Like for your girls, this would be a great one.
Okay.
Yeah. This one, what is this? Called preserve finishing. Okay. So this is a hairspray. So if you have really red, does anyone get red hair? Yes. Okay. You color it red or you natural?
No, I color it.
You do?
I thought it was natural.
So this is gonna be a good one. This has a lot of UV protection. So I see most people in here have their hair colored, right? No? Okay. This is gonna be great for you so that your hair won't bleach out from the sun. This one, it's called KMS Style Color Velvet Berry. Does everyone got that? This is spray on color.
Fun.
Yeah. Be careful if you put this on your blonde hair though. So it might stain like crazy here. She might have permanent velvet berry hair. But this will show up on any of you over here, any of you, and it will be a bit nice berry color that'll just wash
How
out.
fun.
Yeah, but be careful cleaning on your blonde.
Oh, these are extensions.
Oh, okay. So this red one, this is called helmet head. Can you imagine if this is a high or low hairspray? This is gonna be like,
Extra firm.
okay, extra firm. And this one, just put this one in your purse. It's a great everyday hairspray.
I love this.
Yeah, it's a 10, so good.
Mhm.
Yeah, everything about this industry is just fun. If you don't take, you know, life is so short. You know, you want a career where you don't have to take things so seriously. You know, at the end of the day, you can just be like, it's just hair. Just, you know, it doesn't matter.
You definitely
That's
don't
what my
take the
mom
dog
always
home
said.
with you.
It's just hair.
Yeah.
You can do whatever you want to.
It really is. It
It'll
really
grow
is.
back. You don't like it, it'll grow back. You don't like the color, you can do it if on.
Exactly.
I wanted to thank you all for coming today. It's been really fun.
You.
Absolutely. It's our pleasure.
Yeah, this was fun. Unexpected too.
Do you guys have any other questions? No?
And this, I put one of these in each of your bags. This is specifically our school's menu. So you can get an idea of what we charge at a B school. It's really low. Okay. So this is not like normal salon prices. Don't get it mixed up. This is like
Yeah.
beauty school prices. Okay.
If you have questions that weren't answered, feel free to give us a call at the school.
Yeah.
Regardless of what that question might be, we'd be happy to answer any questions that you might think of in future.
You get a bag for yourself.
I did.
Cool.
Yeah.
Did you get a bag? We have a few extras.
Susan, will you just pull one aside for my mom?
It's your real mom. I thought it was
It
just a
is.
lady.
No, she is my
Okay.
I'm very excited to try this one. I have contemplated
love
getting
that
this
one.
one a couple times.
You don't need a lot of it either.
No.
I used to use the Insta masks, like the hair masks. They're so good.
What are your favorite products to use?
I love,
Have people started to leave?
yeah,
Okay.
because I went to the Paul Mitchell school when I was a teenager, so I'm kind of like,
So I buy
biased. It's definitely biased.
it. Hey, they do a good job though.
Yeah. It's like track, you know, tried and true.
So we only.
Sam, have
charge,
people started?
Using the video?
Say that again, sorry, go
We
ahead.
only charge $500 for using the video.
Using the video, oh, for this?
Uh-huh.
You can work that up with the director.
Just kidding.
Just kidding.
So have people started to leave?
I don't, yeah, maybe one did.
Well, we just want to remind everybody to fill out that evaluation. And then I was going to
Susan
say,
has-
ask if either Mitch or Tracy have any last great words of advice as we part here.
Any tips or advice?
I'm trying to think of something.
Go for what you really, really want to do, so you don't have to look back and have any regrets. When I went to school, what I really wanted to do, and I left this out because kind of I pretty much forgot. I wanted desperately to go to work for a plastic surgeon with advanced aesthetics. And unfortunately, back in that day, there weren't a lot of opportunities to learn the business. And so as far as the plastic surgeon's office, as you might imagine, they wanted somebody with quite a bit of experience. So I wasn't able to break into that, unfortunately. Yeah, so just get your eye, you have your eye on the ball and stay with it. And reach for the stars. You guys just being here today really says a lot about
Yeah.
all of you.
My advice would be, is, from Ellen DeGeneres. Do you guys know her? Maybe not.
Yeah.
Ellen.
Yeah, is be kind. Kindness really gets you far in this industry. You might have the stereotype that it's catty and dog eat dog. Those people will not be happy in this industry. It might take a little slower, but I've always felt like I've been kind everywhere that I've worked in this industry, and it really has gotten me far. So be kind, and it'll take you places.
Well, thank you both.
Absolutely.
So much.
Thank you for having us.
Don't forget, you guys, to fill out that evaluation form. Again, that's like the most important thing for you guys to get credit for being here today. And then, like I said, if you have any questions, reach out. There's still a great resource to have in your back pocket for sure.
And you can stop at our school anytime, Northwest College. I'll be there, and Teresa will be
Which
there.
one? So because there are multiple campuses. which
We
one do
work
you
at the
guys-
Beaverton.
Okay.
My best friend actually works at the Hillsborough one right over here. We went to BD school together in California.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I don't know how this has happened. We lived in Korea together. And now we both live in Portland working for the same beauty school. So
Oh my
don't,
gosh, that's funny. Wow.
That's awesome.
it's pretty much me carrying her along. Like, come do this.
There you go.
Thank you.
Well, Mitch and Tracy, thank you very much. We appreciate your time and for coming out.
You got it.
We'd be happy to do this.
Yeah. Next time we'll have even, posters and stuff. I just found out this morning.